Welcome back. Welcome back, folks, as we are on the air, and welcome back to Dream Masters, as we have another exciting match, as we're going to have ourselves a good old-fashioned F-World Team Warfare match, which is, in essence, an 8-man team elimination match, which means you must eliminate all of your other team, as we're going to take two of the biggest comic book junkies in the world. And a lot of people might have expected to see maybe the Avengers in the Justice League, or the Avengers and the X-Men, or the X-Men and the Justice League, or the X-Men and whoever. But we thought we'd see what would happen if we took an obscure team like the Guardians of the Galaxy and had them take on the DC Phenoms. And that would be Superman, Batman, Shazam, and Robin in this case. Also, Superman, Shazam, and the dynamic duo of Batman and Robin. And yes, it may be true there are more prominent members of the Justice League, but we went a little old school versus the four more prominent men in the Guardians of the Galaxy. So, as Superman makes the tag to Shazam, as you probably are just getting used to. Shazam, man formerly known as Captain Marvel, now is just Shazam, as he picks up Star-Lord all the way above his ring, showing him his power, does Shazam. And Star-Lord having problems, but he kicks right out of that and shows that he is not some schlop. Those of you guys who know the Guardians of the Galaxy probably most recently saw them back in the Avengers movie, just prior to the one that's coming out now. We saw the end of, or the demise of, one Peter Quill, which is Star-Lord, as you're seeing him, above the shoulders of Shazam. And he's trying to get a submission here and a torture rack. But Star-Lord fights out of that, shows that tenacity that he has. Which also saw the demise of Drax, as well as Groot. Or Baby Groot, which is even more sad. The last of the Guardians, if you would, is actually Rocket Raccoon, which is you see right there next to Groot, his good friend. And because we are us, we don't have to answer to anybody as far as, you know, what we can and can't do. We make the impossible possible in our show. And I know I said in the middle of the show I was going to make the disclaimer again, but here it comes again, folks, as we're coming to the end of our show shortly, as we don't have any say in the outcome of these shows, as in comes Drax, by the way. We have no say in the outcome of these shows. We have no say in who wins, who loses. We just kind of throw them together, and like you guys wanted to, and we throw them together and watch just like you guys, and have the system itself come up with the answer to the question, who is tougher than who. So it's completely randomized. We have no idea what's going to happen when we throw them together, which is why a lot of the time you'll hear us are genuine surprised in a lot of things that will happen, because we genuinely have no idea what will take place as we're watching it right alongside with you guys, which is why we're a little bit I'm a little impressed right here by Shazam. He's showing us, this is Shazam's actual in-ring debut right now. And this is actually the Guardians' first time out together. And, you know, I'm not going to insult you guys' intelligence. We have had the Justice League before. We have not quite had the Justice League. We've definitely not done the Justice League versus Guardians, that's for sure. As Drax the Destroyer, oh my goodness. Drax with a hell of a suplex all the way from the top rope all the way to the outside. And this is a team warfare match, folks, which means pinfalls count anywhere. And there is no real disqualifications. There's no countouts either. I think I already said that. As Shazam puts on the brakes against Drax. Drax probably the most powerful, strongest guy in the Guardians. But then again, Groot has shown he's just as strong and powerful. Not as smart or wise and not one for the words as Groot, but effective he is. Shazam goes for a pin. And Drax is going to come to the end. And now Groot is going to lock it up with Shazam. And I think Groot is probably the biggest guy in this entire match. Or actually a guy, but he's Groot. I actually had a word with Groot before he came out here, and he just said Groot. And I asked him what his strategy was for this match, and he also said we are Groot. And Shazam is gone just like that. Looks like the Dark Knight himself is going to tie it up with Groot. I don't really know what must be going through the mind of the Dark Knight, as he's, taking it pretty strong on Groot. Doesn't seem to really back down, but I mean, if you were Batman and you fought the lengthily and seemingly there really is no number of how many weirdos and how many characters that Batman has battled over the years. Everyone ranging from the incomparable Joker, who we'll see shortly, taking all the way down to, the Riddler and, Two-Face. I mean, Croc was a villain, Salman Grande. I mean, the list goes on and on for the Batman, how many people he has faced. Of course, probably no one more devastating than that of Bane, who is a dangerous individual. As Batman is showing no fear of Groot. He probably doesn't know what he's doing against him, but he doesn't think he cares either. Batman shows that tenacity. There's a pin on the large member of Guardians. And Groot shows the tenacity of himself and the guts, if he has any, under those twigs. And gets the shoulder up. Sent to the corner is Groot. Groot puts on the brakes on the Batman. And by the way, in case you didn't know, it is 3-on-3 right now, as one guy on each team has been eliminated. And Groot sends Batman to the corner and stares a hole through him. I don't know how smart that was, but ooh my. Groot showing his strength right there, picking up the Batman and dropping him like a bad habit. And Batman showing his guts and his tenacity this time, getting his shoulder up. And Groot sends him to the corner again. It makes a tag to Star-Lord, also Peter Quill. Sends the Dark Knight off the ropes. Nice double back suplex. Back body drop. And Batman now gets the tag to his little buddy, Robin, who quickly shows Star-Lord how tough he is with a forearm and a drop kick to the knee and a nice elbow. Nip up there by Robin, show those acrobatics that he has. And Peter Quill might be a little stunned. Maybe he feels a little bit bad beating up a kid, as Damian Wayne, also known as Robin, is duking it out. Which I believe it is Damian Wayne who is donning the red and green, that is red, black, and green, that is Robin. And here comes Groot yet again. Takes off Robin's head. I don't think I'd want to be Robin right now, stuck it in with the big, large Groot. We're yet to see Rocket in the match. But hopefully soon we shall see we see Rocket as... Oh, Groot with a real strong right hand knocks down the Cape Crew, the that was a 2 count right there. Damian Wayne Damian Wayne. Actually, I was right. Actually, it is Damian Wayne. As in case you guys are not familiar with who Damian Wayne is, according to the other Robins, Damian Wayne is actually Bruce Wayne's son, introduced in the 53 series of the DC reboot, if you would. Introduced by his mother in the... who, by the way, in case you didn't know, that Damian Wayne was a short-lived series, as he was taken out. As Groot now sends Robin all the way to the outside, and he crashes and burns. And Groot is going right after him. You gotta wonder if you have Batman watching his son get his head kicked in. Oh, wait. Robin gets a nice chin breaker on Groot. But Groot shakes it off and uses that strength and slams Robin back first across the apron. And the size difference might be too much for Damian Wayne. I think speed's probably the only thing that's going to help him in this, but Groot could be coming to the end of closing out the Boy Wonder, if you would. You got to wonder if the first words out of Robin's mouth was holy guardians when he came out here, or holy trees. Holy Galaxy, maybe? I don't know, but I can tell you that Groot is measuring Damian Wayne, and this could be coming to an end of the Boy Wonder. And there's a right hand that knocked Robin senseless, and there's the pin on the outside. And that's the end of the Boy Wonder. It looks like Superman's had enough, and he wants to take some control of the large Groot. And he does right away go after Groot, and it's down to Batman and Superman versus the three left. That's a 2 count from Superman to Groot. Groot is oh, there's a right hand right there. Groot firing back, Superman right back at him. I think I told you guys before, I think Superman is one of the most overrated comic book characters ever. And I apologize to you Superman fans out there, because I know there's a lot of you guys out there. My personal feeling is I just think he's ridiculously powered. And I think he's ridiculously candy-coated. And I think he's very, very bland, if you would. I think he has the personality of a twig. He might be the nicest guy in the world, but I think Superman is probably... There's a lot more comic book characters in DC as well as in Marvel, but I think there's those certain comic book characters like Superman who are grossly overestimated and overmade to be something bigger than they are. I mean, as Superman gets rid of the large, Groot and Rocket is in there for the first time, and it is a tag team match, basically, folks. It's down to Superman, Batman versus Rocket and Star-Lord. And it's oddly enough, I have to say that if Superman is the most overrated superhero, then Batman would probably be the secondary as the most overrated bot superhero, I guess you'd say. You see, I say that because Batman has a following too, and I get there's a lot of Batman fans out there. I gotta tell you, I'd rather watch Batman movies than Superman movies any day of the week. But Rocky gets a shoulder up there. But I have to tell you that if it wasn't for the fact that Bruce Wayne had a lot of money and could buy all the equipment to become Batman and have the training that he has, he probably really wouldn't be much of anything. There's really no difference between Batman and, maybe the Punisher in some senses, except for the fact that the Punisher, doesn't really have the money to go out there and buy all kinds of ridiculous costumes and weapons. Punisher doesn't wear any extensive pads and shields and such. He just goes out there and whoops people. And actually, where the difference between, Batman, who is a vigilante, much like the Punisher, Deadpool, Ghost Rider, Daredevil. As far as DC goes, I mean, Batman is a Batman, Robin, Nightwing, Red Hood, and Deathstroke. These guys are all vigilantes as well. But the only one you really get a lot of press is Batman. But, when you're really thinking good about it, I mean, Batman has some, a lot of good fighting skills. He's very tough. But if it wasn't for the suits that he could afford to buy and the equipment he could afford to buy, then really would Batman be any different than someone like in the Marvelverse, the Punisher? Punisher doesn't go out there and wear a bunch of pads and stuff. He goes out there and beats people to a pulp. And actually, the Punisher will kill you. It looks like Raccoon just put an end to the Dark Knight as I was sitting there talking about how pathetic I think the Dark Knight is. Would I think it would be funny if Rocket could put down the great Superman? I don't think it would be funny. I think it's very possible. And Rocket's somebody who probably doesn't get any airtime. If you're a DC person, you probably have no idea who Rocket Raccoon is. You probably thought he was a joke until the Guardians of the Galaxy came out. And even when the Guardians did come out, you probably didn't think much about Rocket Raccoon. But let me tell you, Rocket Raccoon is a wisecracking guy. He has no real alliance except for the Guardians and his friendship with Groot. He doesn't have a lot of friends, but he is also not necessarily a, quote, good guy, as he goes for a pin on Superman. And you know what? I think that's kind of interesting I said that, because I think Rocket Raccoon is very underestimated. And as you've seen, he just put an end to both the great Batman, Dark Knight, and the Son of Krypton, the last Son of Krypton, Superman. And he took them out by himself, ladies and gentlemen. And that was Rocket's first time in the match. And he put an end to both the two toughest of DC by himself. You know, I got my hats off to Raccoon, I got to tell you. And I'm very happy I got to see it along with you guys. Because, you know, I got to tell you that when it came down to 2-on-2, I said, I don't know if Rocket Raccoon and Star-Lord can take down the great Batman and Superman. But they just showed us otherwise, as the Guardians of the Galaxy come back to join their friends. And there they are. They're the winners, ladies and gentlemen. There they are, ladies and gentlemen. The Guardians of the Galaxy have defeated the mighty Justice League of America. Are you guys surprised? I'm not overly surprised, but very happy and successful. But all right, guys, we have some good guys now. Let's go find out what's going on in one-on-one competition as the guys. The old grudge matches shall be over again. Stick around, coming back.